What's good, people? It's your boy Clan, the Spurs fan. I'm here with a brand new video. I'm just going live because I thought I would have enough time, but I do not. So I'm gonna sit here, ooh, excuse me, and we're gonna talk Spurs basketball, and I'm gonna tell you a new development, new things that's going on. Apparently, the Spurs and the Celtics are in talks for Terry Rozier. Now, that is huge. That is a big deal, but the thing that I find interesting is about it is that also makes sense. There's a lot of stuff that's going on. What's up? What's up, Manuel? What's up, Ross? There's a lot of things that's going on with our Spurs right now. And I'm just going to get on here real quick because I don't have too much time. And then I'm going to go to IG Live and talk on there. But apparently the Spurs and the Celtics are in talks for Terry Rozier right now. So whatever they're talking about is centering around Terry Rozier. Now, when it comes to the Mike Conley thing, the Spurs are still interested in Mike Conley, but they have not yet given an offer to the Memphis Grizzlies for Mike Conley. So I'm going to sit here and talk about these two scenarios and which one makes sense to me. So when I look at the Mike Conley situation, I would think that will work out pretty well. A lot of people think that is crazy, but I think that if the Spurs gave up somebody like, Patty Mills, Pau Gasol, and a draft pick, and maybe even Dejounte Murray. Some people told me that he has a no trade clause. I don't see how that's possible because no trade clause typically is someone who's been in the league for 8 years, and 4 of those years you've been with the same team. I don't think he applies for that. But if you gave up those pieces, it just makes sense to me because the Memphis Grizzlies would receive a promising talent. They would receive 2 Hall of Famers, well, not 2 Hall of Famers, but 1 Hall of Famer and another one really experienced, championship experience. And if you're rebuilding your team, you always need new veterans. And on top of it, they would have a total of 4 Spurs players in which they're going to have continuity together and they're going to be able to play together. So it makes sense on the Grizzlies front, and they can market it in a way where they're saying, yo, Pau Gasol is going to retire a Memphis Grizzly. That would be huge. But there's also other teams that not necessarily released, but I got the information on what they offered. And by the looks of it, it's pretty clear the Pelicans are probably going to win. I mean, I think they offered Solomon Hill. They offered Randall. They offered Wesley Johnson. They offered a first-round lottery pick. So Mike Conley is going to be tough to get. Now, is it possible? Anything is possible, but that's going to be a very tough player to receive. But back to the Terry Rozier thing. They have not released or told us or told me or any other sports blogs what exactly the Spurs are willing to give up, but they are in talks. The Spurs and Celtics are in talks. And it makes a lot of sense because the Celtics aren't necessarily struggling, but at the same time, with Kyrie really inserting himself and saying, hey, I'm the leader of the team, I'm the point guard of this team, it really does put Terry Rozier and the young guys in the background. It really does. And with someone like Terry Rozier, he's been upset mostly this season about not the Spurs, but the Celtics not giving him a chance to be the starter. He's been pretty upset about that. So it makes sense for them to at least be in talks about it. So it's conversations going on right now centering around the Spurs and the Celtics. I don't know what the Spurs be willing to give up. I don't know what the Celtics be willing to give up for whatever the Spurs are trying to give up. But that is what's going on right now. Exactly. Hold on, let me see what you're talking about. You would trade DJ? I would, and there's some reasons for that, but I won't go into it. Terry is a free agent next year. Yeah, true. Okay. But yeah, I'm just letting you know that's what's going on right now. So when it comes to our Spurs, do I think we need a trade? Not necessarily. We really don't. But do I believe that a trade will possibly make us better? Yeah. I mean, you can always the goal of a GM, especially someone like R.C. Buford, who's very polished and one of the best GMs in the history in the NBA, A great GM is always looking for ways to get better. Whether it happens or not, you're always trying to get better no matter what. Uh, you said, would you risk it? Oh, y'all talking about. But yeah, it was. You're always trying to get better, so it is healthy to at least be in talks about what's going on and what you want. And the thing about it is, a lot of these sports medias, it's not necessarily that they don't have the information. I just think that they don't care too much to really put certain stuff out there about the Spurs. I mean, it's much more marketable, and people will get more clicks if you're looking more into the Lakers, or you're looking more into, other teams. But right now, from what I'm hearing, the Spurs are in talks for Terry Rozier. Now, let me know what you think. I mean, I love Terry Rozier. I think that he has hell of a skill. I think that he has grit. I still prefer Derek White as far as our point guard situation, but Terry Rozier has shown in big time situations that he can show up. He is almost like a more talented more talented Patrick Beverly. That's what he reminds me of. It's awesome to hear the Spurs and trade discussions. Yeah, they're in a lot of trade discussions. It's a high risk to trade for Terry. Why? How so? Tristan Thompson is what we need. Okay. Now the thing about Tristan Thompson, where that source came from, it came from a guy named Sam Amico, and I think he lives in Cleveland. So when he put that out there and said that the Spurs are interested in Tristan Thompson, I couldn't tell if he was saying that he just found out this information. I couldn't tell if he was saying that this was in the past, months ago, about the Tristan Thompson thing. So I'm not quite sure about the Tristan Thompson. I asked certain sources that I have and other sports blogs have. They said they haven't heard anything about Tristan Thompson. They said they haven't heard anything about Stanley Johnson, or Tristan Thompson and Stanley Johnson. And they said they haven't heard anything about Alec Burks. Now, do those pieces make sense? Sure. But as far as them being credible sources, I don't know yet. So we will just have to wait and see. But I can tell you with confidence that the Spurs are in talks with the Celtics right now about Terry Rozier. I don't know where it's going to go. I don't know if we're going to get him. I don't know if it's a lot that they need, but I'm pretty sure, just from how Kyrie has been talking and how Kyrie came out and said he went and called LeBron and said, "Yo, I'm sorry. I didn't realize how hard it was." It sounds like it's a little drama with the Celtics. Kyrie is a great guy. Kyrie is a great player, but there definitely is some friction between those younger guys and Kyrie. I'm sure that Kyrie's saying, "Hey, I want us to get to a championship level," and I'm sure the younger guys like, "Dude, we brought our team to the Eastern Conference Finals. We were down a superstar, and that's why we lost to LeBron." Maybe that's how they're thinking it. But there's no doubt in my mind that Terry Rozier got heart. Terry Rozier can ball. I would not be upset at all if the Spurs pursued Terry Rozier. Now, if you ask me what I would give up, honestly, any guard replacement is probably an upgrade with Terry Rozier. Now, I'm not saying Derek White by any means. You know I love Derek White. Not Derek White. I think Derek White should be merely untouchable, only because we're already limited at point guard. He has a high ceiling. He's a stand-up guy. Pop already seems as if he's treating him like the Tony Parker. Like, he's getting the Tony Parker treatment, the way that Pop treats Derek White. He really likes the guy. I went to a Memphis Grizzlies game, and it was against the Spurs. And Derek White, they kept calling fouls on Derek White. Derek's like, "Oh, damn, why do they keep calling fouls on me?" His mind left the building. And before the second half started, Derek White was on the bench by himself with his head down. And Pop went over there, pat him on the back, talked to him. And, I mean, rest of the game, Derek White was merely more aggressive. So he really likes Derek White. He really likes the guy. So when I look at this situation, we already got a great team. Sure enough. We already got great players. Sure enough. But can we get better? Of course we can. And there's nothing wrong with that. So it's good to always be in trade discussions, to at least be talking to these teams and say, hey, this is how I'm feeling. Hey, this is what I'm willing to give up. Maybe in the future, you will have those connections in which you can make something happen. What would you give up for Terry Rozier? Well, first off, I would have to look at a lot of the facts behind it. So I would need to see what Terry Rozier's contract. If you guys know what Terry Rozier's contract is, please let me know. So it really depends on what we're getting. I don't know Terry Rozier's contract. Like I said, they sent us this information. I just went ahead and got straight on here. And I got a few minutes before I get on IG Live and tell everybody over there. So I'm not sure. Yeah, so I'm not sure what I would give up for Terry Rozier. Why are we targeting guards? Let's get Kyrie. We ain't gonna get Kyrie, dude. We ain't gonna get Kyrie. And what would you have to give up for Kyrie? I mean, you're not gonna get Kyrie. Now, who would I give up? You know what? I'm not gonna go and be negative and say these are the guys that I would give up. I won't go that far, but I will say this: the guys I will not give up, that's off limits for me personally: Derek White, DeMar DeRozan, LaMarcus Aldridge, off limits. I guess Bertans. That's probably it as far as off limits. Now, and probably Jakob, because you're gonna need a center. But as far as guards, I think getting Terry Rozier is a huge upgrade, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna happen. You know how the Spurs are. You really know how the Spurs are. We all know. Spurs fans know how the Spurs are. So I'm not sure how it's gonna go. But yeah, that's just the information I'm getting. I'm just letting you guys know. I'm about to go ahead and get off. We could trade Mills. Yeah, that's a possibility. We have to get rid of Gasol. I think that the Spurs, I think it's pretty fair that the Spurs are sitting around trying to get rid of Gasol. Now, here's something else, and I forgot to mention this. Let me mention this. Some of you guys said that you wouldn't get rid of Dejounte Murray. I don't know what's going on, but I did see on DJ's Instagram page that he posted a photo of himself in Spurs gear, and he does that pretty often. But in the caption, this happened yesterday, he put in there how thankful he is for the Spurs for giving him that opportunity, and how great it was for the Spurs to give him that opportunity. He wasn't talking in a way where, and if you go to it, just go to Dejounte Murray's Instagram. He wasn't talking in a way like, you know, thanks for the opportunity. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to, you know, keep going and just get these championships. He wasn't talking like that. He was talking almost as if a thank you letter to the San Antonio Spurs, and maybe they talked to him and said he might be on the trading block. I remember a year ago, fans told Dejounte Murray, hey, Spurs might trade you. He was like, I don't give a damn if they trade me. And of course he was just irritated. It wasn't necessarily like him actually meaning that, but it's possible. It's very possible. If we don't have Dejounte, and it's a high risk because Dejounte could be an all-star next year. It's not a high risk. Me personally, when it comes to Dejounte Murray, I wasn't going to get into it, but when it comes to Dejounte Murray, he is not a typical Spurs point guard. He's not as versatile as a lot of our great point guards are. And what I mean by that is he's not necessarily a facilitator. Now, the man can drive the ball, the man can attack, the man can play great defense, and all those are great. And you always have a place in the NBA as long as you can hustle, as long as you can ball in that aspect. But let's be real, Dejounte Murray is not a facilitator whatsoever. So in that perspective, I don't think it's a high risk to get rid of Dejounte Murray. If it happens, it happens. If it don't, cool. We got a great defender. But let's see. But his defense is unreal. He can score driving like nobody. That's great. That's great. But just me personally, what I value in a point guard, especially a Spurs point guard where you're running so many plays and you have to control the pace and you have to control the tempo. I'm more so want a facilitator. That's just me. I just more so want to facilitate a guy who can pass, right on the dot. In the end, we signed Joel Anthony again. That's funny. Bro, you hate Dejounte so much. I'm sorry you say you don't, but you always talk about trading him and how everyone else is about it. It's like this. It's like this. Dejounte Murray is one of the best big talents on our team. Maybe the third best talent on our team, but without a doubt. I just feel like in a high stress situation where we need to control the tempo, he has not shown that he can control the tempo well. That's just me. That's just me. And you saying I hate him? I don't hate him. I don't. I think that the guy can ball. I think that he can hustle. I think he plays great defense, and I love all those aspects. I would cheer for him as long as he got a Spurs jersey on. I'm going to cheer for him. But if you want my honest opinion, I'm not going to be biased just because I have a Spurs player or just because they're Spurs players. I'm gonna be completely honest in how I feel about him. I did the same thing with LaMarcus Aldridge. I do the same thing with anybody. So if that's just how I feel about him, that's just how I feel about him. I don't hate him or anything. But yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and get off. This went on way too long than I expected, and I'm sorry. I really wanted to make a video today and edit it and show you all the different trade scenarios, but just know that when it comes to the Memphis Grizzlies, right now the Pelicans are in the driver's seat, because their offer is ridiculous, and our San Antonio Spurs have not threw out an offer yet. That could change, but yet they haven't. But they are talking to the Celtics right now as we speak, so we will see how that goes. Until next time.